Hey there. You know, you seemed like you were struggling with getting that bottle open, and I just was wondering if you wanted my help because I can, walk you through it if it's not a big deal. I do have somewhere I need to be, not too long from now, so I can't take too long. But I mean, I can help walk you through it if that's fine. You need help? Okay. Yeah. No, no, it's no big deal. I assume you have minimal experience with this because it seemed like you were really struggling. Yeah, okay, okay. Don't worry. I am here to help. This is a Listerine bottle. Um, Opening it can be kind of tricky if you, like, I assume you have very little experience. But for those of us that have a bit more experience with the world and opening things, it's not too tricky. But yeah, let's just get started. Like I said, I got somewhere I got to be. So, yeah. Anyway, it's pretty simple. Okay, so first step, you were kind of just looking at it, you know? It was just sitting there, you were looking at it. The first thing you got to do if you want to open it is you're going to have to pick it up. Okay, you're going to have to pick it up. You have to pick it up. Because if you don't pick it up, then you can't open it. You have to pick it up to open it, all right? So to pick it up, all you got to do is take your hand. Either hand, doesn't matter. You're probably going to be more dominant in one hand, I would imagine. You probably know what hand that is. I would hope you know which hand you're dominant with. But yeah, you just you choose a hand. It doesn't matter which hand. I'm gonna choose my right hand because I'm right-handed. Um, I'm gonna pick it up with my right hand to do that. Okay, and now stay with me here. But to pick it up, I'm going to I'm going to take my hand, and here's the bottle. Let's imagine it's sitting. Let's imagine I'm not already holding it because I am technically already holding it. But let's imagine it's just sitting on a table, right? I'm going to take my hand, and then I'm going to like put it next to the bottle. I'm just going to kind of like surround the bottle with my hand, okay? You want to surround the bottle with your hand, and then what you can do is you can just kind of like flex your hand, right? And then like if you're close enough, if you've got a good enough grip, you'll pick it up. Okay, it's not too challenging. I understand. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. No, that's not at all. But I'm just saying you should be able to get it on the first or second try. I would hope. Um, you got to be careful though, because if you don't have a good grip, like if you surrounded it with your hand in the wrong spot, you might not be able to hold on to it. So just be aware of where you're surrounding it with your hand, and then you got to pick it up. But once you have it in your hand, once you've picked it up, you got to pick it up. All right. But once you've picked it up, it's in your hand, and that's important because once it's in your hand, you can open it, or at least well, you can begin the process, right? This bottle, the one that you were trying to open, it has a wrapper on it. It's completely unopened. It's like fully sealed, which it adds a layer of complexity to opening it. But don't worry, we can walk through it. It's not a big deal. I'm running out of breath. Actually, I'm having like the inverse problem where I'm sucking in a lot of breath, but I'm not using a lot of breath because I'm talking kind of quietly. That happens a lot in these videos. But anyway, sorry, I'm losing focus. I'm losing focus. Anyway, so it's in our hands. I'm switching it between hands. I hope that doesn't confuse you. It is currently in my left hand, and now it's in my right hand, but that's not a big deal. All right, it's got this wrapper, okay? We need to take this wrapper off. In order to take the wrapper off, we're probably going to have to use our other hand. If you have the bottle in your left hand, you're going to have to use your right hand. If you have the bottle in your right hand, you're going to have to use your left hand. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to kind of do the same thing we talked about where we picked up the bottle. You're going to want to surround the top with your hand, and then you're going to want to flex your hand so that you're kind of holding the bottle in two places at once. Does that make sense? Because I'm kind of worried I'm going too fast for you. I can tell that you're struggling. So I don't want to take things too fast. Do I need to? Okay, you're still on board. That's good. That's good. Okay, so you want to grab it with both hands. You have one hand on the bottle. It can be your left hand, it can be your right hand, doesn't matter. And then you have one hand holding on to the cap, which is where the wrapper is. And then you want to just kind of like twist it really hard, okay? And you want to keep your hand flexed, because if you don't keep your hand flexed, then it'll slip, and then you won't be accomplishing anything. But if you really grip onto it and then really twist, it should loosen. And what you'll see here is that it's actually come off completely. I know that was kind of a big leap. So are you still with me? I mean, technically, if this is all you're worried about getting into, I've already kind of gotten you most of the way there. But I want you to know for future reference, because likelihood is that you're going to come across another bottle in your life that you have to get open, and if you don't learn anything from this experience, then you won't know how to open that one. So I really want you to be learning here. So did I go too fast? I can put it back on there for a second. Okay, so it's kind of back on there. All I did was I grabbed it, I squeezed it tight, flexed my hand tight, and then while I'm still flexing tight, I twisted it, and then it kind of just came off. Okay, and then you can use your fingers. I like to use my thumb and then my index and my middle fingers, but you can use any fingers you want. Like I could use my ring finger and my pinky and my thumb, or I could just use my ring finger and my thumb, or my middle finger and my thumb, or my index finger and my thumb, or my pinky finger and my thumb, or I mean maybe just my index finger and my pinky finger, or maybe my middle finger and my index finger. There's lots of different combinations. I hope that's not too confusing. But yeah, you can use whatever fingers you want to grab it and just pull it the rest of the way off. And then you can throw that away. It doesn't matter, okay? You don't need that anymore. I would recommend throwing it into the garbage, and don't litter. But anyway, now as I hit my chin, now we have the bottle. It's no longer sealed, so we're a little bit closer to having it opened, but it is still closed. You'll notice that nothing is coming out of it. It's still closed. So we're a little bit closer to getting it opened, and I hope you're still following along with me, but it's not quite opened yet. We still have a little bit of a ways to go. Now, this particular bottle, because there is alcohol in this, I believe, yes, 21%. 21%? Wow, that's a lot of alcohol. Anyway, there's alcohol in this. So that means that it's a dangerous substance for children and the like. So it has a special cap that's specifically designed to be challenging to take off, which I know seems counterintuitive to the whole situation right now. We're trying to make it, I'm trying to explain to you how to open this bottle, and that's only going to make it harder. But I don't want you to get discouraged, because I know you can do it. All right. So anyway, this cap is a little bit different than normal. Normally, you would just grab the cap, kind of like you did with the other thing, where you just grab it and then you flex your hand and you grab it tight, and then you would just twist it in one direction. Sometimes some people say lefty loosey, righty tighty, but if you can't remember that, you can always just try to twist it one way. If nothing happens, you can twist it the other way. That works pretty well. But you can't do that with this one. I'll show you. Like, nothing's happening. I can twist this either direction. Nothing's going to happen. It's not open, and nothing's coming out. So how do we get it open? It's a little tricky. So we're still holding it with this hand, with our right hand currently. I can hold it with my left hand if you're left-handed, so that it's more pertinent for you. But I'm going to keep doing it with my right hand. I'm sorry to all you left-handed people out there. But anyway. We have the bottle. We're holding it in our right hand. Now, the cap here, you'll see here, I'll put it up close to the camera. It has these two sections. You see how there's all these ridges? You see the ridges on this cap? Can you see the ridges? I don't know how well you can see the ridges, but there are ridges on this cap. Maybe I can scratch them. Hopefully that's not too loud. The ridges on the cap. I hope you can see the ridges on the cap. And then you'll notice there's these two sections, one right here and then one on the other side, where there are no ridges, all right? Those are specifically designed so that you can notice them, all right? So you're gonna want to put your fingers on those spots that have no ridges. So you'll put a finger here, and then you'll put a finger on the other side. Now, I recommend using your index finger and your thumb, but you could technically do it with any assortment of fingers. It would be challenging to do it with like your index and your ring or middle finger. In fact, dare I say, maybe impossible. It's going to be really challenging. You could probably do it, but I don't recommend it. I'm going to use my index finger and my thumb. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers on those spots, all right? I'm just going to put my fingers on those spots. I hope, again, I'm not going too fast, but I'm putting my fingers on those spots without the ridges. You see the spots without the ridges? That's where I'm putting my fingers. I'm putting my fingers on those spots. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my fingers closer together, right? So imagine, look at how they're like on opposite sides. I'm going to squeeze them together, right? I can do it on the other side so you can see it. So I'm going to squeeze them together on that spot. I don't want to do it sideways. You don't want to do it sideways. Don't open the bottle sideways or else it will spill the beverage inside. This isn't a beverage technically, but yeah, I guess it does have 21% alcohol. Anyway, so I'm holding it with my right hand and I'm going to use my index finger and my thumb. I'm going to squeeze those spots. And now what you want to do is while you're squeezing, I know this is a lot to do all at once, but so you're going to hold it, you're going to squeeze with your fingers, and then while you're doing that, you're going to rotate it to the left. And by the left, I mean like, don't worry about it. Yeah, like I said, you can use the method where you can spin it one way, and then if that doesn't work, you can try spinning it the other way. That'll get you pretty far in life. So you're going to squeeze that spot, and then you're going to spin it in one direction, and then you can keep spinning it in that direction. With those fingers, you can do it with other fingers. Once you get past a certain point, it's not going to be that hard anymore, so you can do it with any number of fingers and any orientation, doesn't matter. It's going to have much less resistance. You'll notice it for sure. But then once that happens, you can grab it with your fingers, like I said, any assortment of fingers, doesn't matter. And then it's opened. Ta-da. Drink up. Cheers. But that's how you get it open. Now, just because, I'm not going to be around here forever, you'll probably need to know how to close it too. It's a similar process, but not quite as involved, honestly. You're going to take it still in your hand. Maybe you set it down, but you have to pick it back up. So you're going to have to put your hand around it and flex your hand to do all that stuff. You remember how to do that, hopefully, right? You remember how to pick it up. Okay, so you've picked it up again, and then you have the cap in your other hand, which you're holding between your fingers, right? You're holding the cap between your fingers in some fashion. Maybe you've got them in the opposite hands as I do, but it doesn't matter. What you're going to do is you're going to slowly put the cap back on in the way that you took it off, so that it's just resting there. And then what you want to do is you want to use your fingers in some fashion. It doesn't matter exactly how you do it, but I prefer to use my first three fingers, so my thumb, my index, and my middle fingers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it. I'm going to keep spinning it. And you'll notice that once it gets towards the bottom, it's going to get a little bit harder to spin it, but you got to keep spinning it until eventually it clicks. And then it no longer wants to open. And that means it's fully closed. And there you go. That's how you open and close a Listerine bottle. Now, I won't have you pay me because, that was a pretty good crash course. But, every time you open a Listerine bottle, you can think of me, and, that's payment enough, So I hope you learned something because I was really trying to help. I could tell just by looking at you that you were struggling. But anyway, catch you later.